Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. Tonight, Governor Hochul issuing a new mandate amid increasing COVID cases in the state. Starting on Monday, all New Yorkers will have to wear a mask when entering an indoor public space or business. Big Fox's Matt Kleindinst joins us from Corning with tonight's top story.
Good evening, Ann. Governor Hochul called this move a warning shot for all New Yorkers. With COVID cases continuing to go up, masks will now be required when you go into indoor public spaces.
The rest of the state now has a wake-up call.
In the Friday morning press conference, Governor Hochul announced new mandates for across the state. This comes as New York's daily case counts continue to creep up.
We are staring upward, my friends. I've been watching this closely. We're heading upward in a direction that I find is no longer sustainable.
Starting on Monday, all New Yorkers will be required to wear masks in indoor venues and businesses. Businesses can subvert that mandate by requiring proof of vaccination prior to entry. Those who do not comply will risk fines up to $1,000.
I've been warning, I've been saying, if we can't get more people vaccinated or boosted, I have to protect people, but also the economy.
COVID hospitalizations in New York are at their highest peak since April and have increased 86% last month alone. Governor Hochul says these measures are necessary to prevent even tighter restrictions.
One of the reasons we have so many people who are housing insecure and food insecure are dealing with all the specters of the fallout of the pandemic. All this is an effect on the human condition because of what we went through in the past. I don't want to go back ever again.
The mask mandate is intended to be temporary and will be reassessed on January 15th. Matt Kleindinst, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
Police departments across Steuben County are getting a tool to help keep officers safe on the job. On Thursday, the Steuben Opioid Prevention Committee is giving sharps collections bins to the County Sheriff's Office and Bath Police Department. This will allow law enforcement to safely collect needles without exposing themselves to bloodborne diseases. The Opioid Prevention Committee will distribute more collection bins throughout the rest of the month. The Steuben County Department of Aging is warning residents of a scam aimed at senior citizens getting Social Security. According to the county, scammers will try stealing money by telling people there's an issue with their Social Security number or account. Other scams threaten legal action in order to squeeze money out of residents. Anyone who believes they've been contacted by a scammer is asked to call the County Office of the Aging. The New York City Council has approved a bill that would allow non-citizens to vote in municipal elections. Sharon Crowley has more.
Intro 1867A is hereby adopted. Congratulations, Councilmember Rodriguez.
New York City Council approving an historic measure to allow non-citizens to vote in municipal elections here. The bill would allow New York City residents who've lived here at least 30 days to vote in local elections. Non-citizens still wouldn't be able to cast a ballot for state and federal candidates.
Today, we are making history here in these chambers.
Supporters inside and outside City Hall calling this a long-awaited victory for the city's more than 800,000 tax-paying immigrants with green cards and work authorizations, as well as so-called dreamers.
I am not afraid of too many people having the ability to vote. I am afraid that too many feel powerless.
Opponents say this undermines naturalized citizens' hard-earned efforts to gain the right to vote.
The right to vote is a sacred right and belongs squarely to United States citizens.
Republicans are already mounting a legal challenge, arguing the council lacks the authority on its own to grant voting rights to non-citizens. It's something for state lawmakers to consider.
In 2023, the members of the city council will be running for election, but there might be candidates for civil court judge or party positions. And they'll have to the Board of Elections will have to print 2 ballots.
So New York City is not the first to do this. Other municipalities have allowed non-citizens to vote, but New York City would be the largest. Mayor de Blasio has questioned whether the city council has the authority to make this move, but he has also said he is not inclined to veto the bill.
The Supreme Court handing down a rare December decision in a fast-tracked case involving a Texas abortion law. In this case, both sides can claim at least partial victory. Now, abortion advocates and opponents are reading the tea leaves to try and glean whether it signals how the justices will rule in a landmark Mississippi case later this year. Madeline Rivera reports from outside the Supreme Court.
By Supreme Court standards, it was a quick decision. On Friday, the court ruled a Texas abortion law can stand while it is being challenged in lower courts.
It's good news. While there is a pathway for this to continue to be litigated in the lower courts, it's good news because the law will remain in effect as it has for quite some time, already saving thousands of lives.
It was just a little more than a month ago, November 1st, when the Supreme Court heard 3 hours of arguments over Texas's unique abortion law that bans the procedure after 6 weeks of pregnancy and empowers private citizens to sue abortion providers for up to $10,000. A Texas state judge on Thursday ruled that enforcement scheme unconstitutional and said it could open Pandora's box. While the constitutionality of Roe v. Wade was not being argued in this case, the lead plaintiff last month said this law is still designed to chip away at abortion rights.
Unfortunately, this law has blocked people's ability to get access to abortion for 2 months in the state of Texas. People who live in Texas should have that right just as much as people who live in the surrounding states.
Abortion opponents looking ahead to a landmark decision in a Mississippi case that could come down this spring.
That will be the case that will likely reframe the issue of reproductive rights.
The Mississippi case does take direct aim at Roe v. Wade and could be the most significant abortion ruling from the High Court in decades. At the Supreme Court, Mallory Rivera, Fox News.
Funeral services were held at the National Cathedral for former Senator Bob Dole today. President and Jill Biden, Vice President Harris, former President Bill Clinton, and leaders from both houses of Congress joined Bob Dole's wife Elizabeth, his daughter Robin, and the rest of his family to say goodbye to an American icon. The Kansas native overcame serious battlefield wounds during World War II to rise to the top of the political world. He was twice named to the Republican presidential ticket and earned his place among the leaders of our country. President Biden was among the speakers at today's service and called Bob Dole a true hero.
In his final days, Bob made it clear that he was deeply concerned about the threat to American democracy, not from foreign nations, but from the division tearing us apart from within. And this soldier reminded us, and I quote, "Too many of us have sacrificed too much in defending freedom from foreign adversaries to allow our democracy to crumble under a state of infighting that grows more unacceptable day by day."
Bob Dole died Sunday at the age of 98. Still ahead tonight, if you thought you were busy this time of year, postal workers might just have you beat.
We process all the parcels incoming from all over the nations, as well as the letters and the magazines. On an average, we do about 12 million pieces of mail, including parcels, letters, and flats.
The United States Postal Service giving a behind-the-scenes look of the hustle and bustle it takes to get your packages shipped in time for the holidays.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Hello everybody, it's Adam Bowles with your weather, brought to you in part by William Attar. Kim has the night off for this evening. Let's take a look at the weather headlines. A lot of action happening for tonight and also for tomorrow too. Heavy rain possible, maybe up to 1 inch and 2 inch possible for your Saturday. And also on top of that, very windy too. I am tracking gusts up to 31 miles per hour for your Saturday with a strong cold front moving through as well. So be careful driving, and also slick roads possible as well. With that cold front moving through, the good news, we're back to more sunshine and looking very nice back into more sunshine even for the later part of next week as well, looking very nice and sunny for most of next week too. But for tonight, no sunshine. It's looking pretty rainy, back into the upper 30s, even maybe a snow mix possible as we get lower and lower back near the freezing mark, but not quite there yet so far. But still, we're starting off into the upper 30s for tonight, looking pretty rainy, and that continues all the way into tomorrow morning, starting off into the upper 40s and then gradually working our way back into, look at that, the upper 50s for a high. So mild, but on the downside of the mild conditions, we do look pretty rainy and windy. Starting off into the lower 50s and then back into the upper 50s, shopping if you're going to do that as well. Lunchtime around 58 for a high, and back around 5 o'clock, we're still into the upper 50s, and then falling temperatures after that ahead of a big cold front on the way as well. So here's the forecast map, what's happening. You see that dark green, heavy rainfall, and behind that with that cold front, very windy conditions for your Saturday, and also getting much colder as we head into, look at that, Sunday, and also for your Monday too. Extreme rain chances for your Saturday, and then finally drying out by Sunday, Monday, and looking pretty quiet as we head into next week as well. But for tonight, let's take a look at future radar. You see showers about all across the board heading to early tomorrow morning, and that continues for most of Saturday. Maybe a stray snow shower possible by late Saturday as we move on out of here with that cold front, and looking at drier conditions as we head to your Sunday. Here's the rainfall amounts I'm seeing, maybe about an inch to maybe 2 inches possible, and most of the action happening off towards the west in that blue color with more heavier amounts possible as we head with that cold front moving through Saturday and Sunday too. As a recap for tonight, normal low is 25. We're back into the 30s with rainfall for tonight. And also for tomorrow, we're back into the milder conditions, starting off into the upper 50s, and with that cold front sliding through, clearing out, but colder, back into the 40s on Sunday, and then getting slightly warmer after that, heading into the 50s and upper 40s.
Vaccines are helping air travel continue to make its comeback, but experts say the pandemic is causing people to change where they're deciding to visit. Kevin Cork reports.
We're actually headed to Jamaica this morning, going for our cousin's wedding.
And they're off. The number of Americans taking to the skies continues rebounding close to pre-pandemic levels.
It was packed. The planes were full.
Still, many airlines are struggling to hire back much of their workforce lost during the height of the pandemic, with the Labor Department reporting more than a 9% dip in airline employment numbers from where they were just before the onset of COVID. But staffing shortages aren't stopping airlines from trying to fill seats on planes. And while more people are flying again, experts say the pandemic is causing major shifts in travel trends.
With new variants coming in all the time, people are anxious and they're concerned about making those plans, particularly international travel.
As a result, domestic travel is seeing a bump. With the rate of positive COVID-19 cases ticking back up across the country, outdoor destinations are looking more favorable.
We've seen an incredible increase in the number of people visiting national parks.
Throughout the pandemic, travel experts say communities learned the importance of supporting one another and recommend applying some of those lessons when you embark on your next journey.
As travelers, we're guests in a community, and respecting our hosts is a really important thing.
Experts also suggest staying up to date with the latest COVID-19 testing policies while planning a trip. I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
Train travel may be a problem next year. Apple is facing a class action lawsuit over its watch, and why Toyota is putting the brakes on production in Japan. Cheryl Casone has more.
Amtrak says it might be throttling back some of its train service next year. That's due to about 5% of its workforce being unvaccinated. Amtrak's president says 95% of employees are at least partially vaccinated, and he thinks the company could return to its full schedule by March or earlier. A lawsuit says Apple didn't take into account for swelling of its watch's internal battery. And as a result, the screen can detach, crack, or shatter, causing injury. In 2019, Apple announced a program to replace damaged screens for free, citing rare circumstances that caused the screen to crack. Well, Toyota is stopping production at some factories in Japan because of a shortage of parts from Southeast Asia. The move will impact 9,000 vehicles, Lexus models, and the four-wheel drive Land Cruiser. Well, Tyson Foods says it's going to spend about $1.3 billion over the next 3 years to automate parts of its production lines. Meat companies have been dealing with a nationwide labor shortage that left many plants understaffed. And Costco says its sales rose 9.8% at the start of the holiday season. Company says some toy and holiday season items are going to arrive after Christmas. But the company says it has handled it as best as possible and feels pretty good about it. Well, for more stories, log on to foxbusiness.com. In New York, I'm Cheryl Casoni.
The United States Postal Service is giving a behind-the-scenes look at the hustle and bustle as they work to move packages for the holiday season. Audrey Will has more.
If you thought you were busy, postal workers just might have you beat. It is the busiest time of the year for the United States Postal Service. Next week will be the busiest week of the year. The USPS Processing and Distribution Center in Northeast Portland is ready.
We process all the parcels incoming from all over the nations, as well as the letters and the magazines. On an average, we do about 12 million pieces of mail, including parcels, letters, and flats, on a daily basis.
During the peak season from Thanksgiving to New Year's Eve, they deliver 850 to 900 million parcels, and everything goes through here. Titas Miwela is the senior manager of distribution operations and gave us the grand tour, where mail is coming in hot, fresh off of planes and trucks.
These are all the volumes from incoming all over our nation.
He says they're staffed up to handle the demand. They also have automation lending a hand. And thanks to a special machine called the Enhanced Package Processing System, they can sort about 25,000 packages an hour.
This machine has 450 output chute to our destination location, both out of state and in state.
Miwela says it's a smooth operation year-round and they're well prepared for the December rush.
I assure you that if you bring it, we will deliver it.
So shop and send away this holiday season.
It's the most wonderful time of the year for scammers. According to the FBI, thousands of people fall victim to holiday scams every year, and experts are warning customers of tainted gift cards. Retailers note that gift cards should not have raised barcodes. Often scammers put stickers with fake barcodes over the top of the original. Customers should also keep gift receipts for their purchases. This news comes as data shows more Americans are opting for gift cards as a gift this year, with many people hoping it will help them avoid any supply chain and shipping headaches. Dollar General stores are trying to pop in on a new crowd with a new store approach. The Tennessee-based variety chain Discount Store wants to attract a younger and wealthier crowd, so it's going to start up about 1,000 pop shelf stores in different locations around the country. Dollar General says pop shelf buyers have more money and tend to be in more suburban locations. 30 pop shelf stores are already in 6 states, according to a report, and Dollar General hopes to have the 1,000 stores in roughly the next 3 years. With stress among kids at an all-time high due to the pandemic, a new trend of calming toys is emerging. Eben Brown explains.
As the COVID pandemic grinds on, there's increasing focus on helping parents with kids who might be feeling overwhelmed by mandates and shutdowns, with a number of toy companies using technology to find ways to keep children calm during the pandemic, including Purble, a new interactive pet developed by the Rhode Island-based company Sproutel. It's the first tech toy specifically designed to provide a sense of calm and help children learn to soothe themselves.
It kind of came from this question of, could we, using play, help children learn how to keep calm?
Purble was designed using therapeutically directed social robotics with a vibrating heartbeat that speeds up or slows down depending on how it's handled. Kids can calm it by petting it and speaking to it softly, and it will sigh and giggle if it's feeling relaxed.
There's touch sensors down Purple's back and down Purple's sides that are detecting as we're petting them. There's buttons in Purple's ears that you can squeeze.
Purple was named one of Time magazine's best inventions of 2021, and with the American Academy of Pediatrics declaring children's mental health a national emergency, we could be seeing a new trend towards stress-reducing toys in the coming years.
That's really what facilitates this interaction that helps people find, moments of calm, moments of comfort when they might be overwhelmed.
Now, according to the Committee for Children, which helped develop Purple, 73% of parents say their child experienced some form of emotional distress during the pandemic. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. If you're not in the mood for any social interaction this holiday season, tuck yourself away in this cave designed to look like the Grinch's lair. No need to keep wondering where Christmas is. Vacasa, a vacation rental management company, has teamed up with Dr. Seuss Enterprises to recreate the Grinch's humble, hidden home in Utah. This holiday getaway is perfect for lovers of the classic story and movie, or for people who just want something different. Each room is designed to represent parts of the holiday hater's home, complete with cans of Who pudding and Who hash. The cave sleeps 4 and costs about $20 a night. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.